Hey guys, what's up? It's Kyle here with a quick topic I want to talk about TNA. TNA were in the UK the other day, and they're going to be in the UK for a couple of weeks here in February. I think this is it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Presentation wise, like always, when TNA goes to the UK, they always look so much better. Look like more like a legit company. When they're out of that darn impact zone in Orlando studios, they always look so much better. Which leads to the next conversation. Dixie Carter announced last night that TNA, starting March 14th, will be going on the road permanently live, and that their first event they'll be going starting March 14th will be here in Chicago. When I heard that, I jumped, ran to my computer, dug up some information. It's going to be in the Hoffman Estate Arena, I believe, but anyway, it's literally in my neck of the woods. It's like 35 minutes away from where I live, so literally in my own backyard. Tickets go on sale next Friday. I'm going because the only other time TNA has come to Chicago was in Bound for Glory 2008, and by that time, I already spent my money for Raw of January of 2009. Excuse me, of 2009, and if anyone wants to know, that was the Raw, where CM Punk won the Intercontinental title against William Regal. I was there, but it was just I'm super excited about this. I want to go. I'm going to go. So I think this is great. I'm not only excited about that, but I'm also excited about them going on the road live permanently. It's been reported that the thing that they're going to do is it's going to be live weekly, on a weekly basis. So what they'll do is it'll be live, but then after they're done filming it live, like on air, then immediately they will begin the taped show, like right after they're done doing the live show, which is, I believe, this is the same format that WWE used for Monday Night Raw back in the early 90s, back in '93 when they were trying to build up Raw. This is the same format that they used. So I think this is a really good idea because being in the impact zone with 800 people, it was going to be the death of TNA. It really was. It was going to be the final nail in the coffin for that company. And I think for last year, some things that TNA has been doing really good at, this is an even bigger step to getting out of that impact zone by them being on the road and renting out bigger venues and being around a fresh, new audience every week. It's going to give the feel of the TV and the production and the look of the company look so much grander and bigger than what it's played out to being in Orlando studios. And you always get a taste of that every time when TNA goes to the UK. It looks more like a big, legit company. Which goes on to my next thing. 3 months ago, TNA announced that they were going to eliminate two pay-per-views. Well, come January of this year, they announced that they end up eliminating 8 instead of 2 pay-per-views, and they're only going to keep 4 alive, being Genesis, and then their big 3, Lockdown, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory. And then the other pay-per-views are going to be tape pay-per-views, and they're going to be at a reduced price for $10. I think this here, now a lot of people have been kind of negative towards this. I think this is a good idea as well, because one, nobody has money anymore to spend on pay-per-views every 12 months. So I think this is good from one aspect because it gives you time to save money for the more bigger and more important pay-per-views like Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, Lockdown. And in this case, TNA does need to work on making these pay-per-views stand out and better than the taped special thing pay-per-views, because if you get the same feeling of a live pay-per-view compared to the specially themed pay-per-views, no one's going to want to waste their money on buying the next live pay-per-view event. So they really have to they have to get on the ball with that and make these live pay-per-views really stand out and feel much bigger and grander than the tape-themed pay-per-views. So I think it gives you more time, the buyer, to save more money. It also helps, I think, it helps TNA save a boatload of money, which I would like to think is going to be a huge contribution to them going on the road live by them cutting all these pay-per-views and fillers that nobody really wants to watch. So I think those are the good positive things. The negative things I can see out of this is that, one, these pay-per-views are going to be aired on Fridays. Who airs a pay-per-view on a Friday? It just doesn't make sense to me. They could have done Saturday because UFC airs their pay-per-views on Saturdays, or they could have done it on Sundays, like most other places, people air pay-per-views. Could have done it on Sunday. Why Friday? That's a horrible time. And on top of that, yes, SmackDown. And SmackDown is like, why would I want to pay? You can probably easily cough up $10 and you can $35 for a pay-per-view. But still, why would you want to cough up $10 when you're like, hey, I can watch wrestling for free here on SmackDown? That just doesn't make sense. But I hope it works. Then the other thing is that it's taped. So because it's taped, the one thing that it's going to be spoilers, which I always stay away from. I hate spoilers. So it's going to be spoilers. That can be a bad thing too. Especially if you have a title change, especially for like the world title, they may want to be careful with that. Especially if you have a hot feud with anybody and you want the belt to change hands, for it to change hands on a tape pay-per-view, that could kind of kill it a bit. So those are probably the negatives, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives more. So I hope TNA really grows and really by them going on the road permanently, I think it's going to give by being around a fresh audience, renting out bigger venues, it's going to make the product TV-wise so much better. And you always get that when they're in the UK. Their UK shows are like some of their best Impact shows, just because just being in a different crowd, it helps the show. Period. There are a lot of WWE fanboys out there that always say, well, TNA should die, they'll never be on WWE's level. They'll never be on WWE's level. WWE's been out for 60-plus years. WWE is they're the granddaddy of this profession. But at the end of the day, we do need more thriving wrestling companies because it's not good to have just one particular company in a field or in a business field. You need competition. Competition is what makes any business thrive. And that's why the 90s were such, the hottest decades in wrestling. As wrestling fans, we were spoiled in the 1990s. That's why, the Monday Night Wars, WCW, WWE, ECW, we were spoiled because we had different, options. If you didn't like one brand, you can go watch something else. And it's not only good for us wrestling fans, it's also great for talent because if someone in WWE, they're not cutting it, they're not fitting very well in WWE, they can cross over to TNA and they may do better in TNA and vice versa. So we need more thriving wrestling companies. That's why I've never wished death on TNA. TNA has done some dumb stuff in the past, and I have been pissed off at some of their poor decisions, and I have even boycotted TNA a lot of times. But I've never wished death on them because we need more thriving wrestling companies in this profession and in this business. It's what makes it not only the business as a whole profitable, but it's what makes it more enjoyable for us wrestling fans. You don't have to be a TNA fan. You can still be a WWE fan and watch WWE only exclusively and only stay in tune to their product. That's fine. But for the business as a whole and beneficiary to all the fans, it's a good thing that TNA is doing this, and I hope TNA continues to grow into a legit company. And like I said, Chicago is the only city, in my opinion, of wrestling fans that rivals New York. So for this to be the first hot spot that they hit for their first live event, being on the road, I think it's a great venture. I think it's a great move. I'm getting my ticket guaranteed next Friday. What do you guys think about TNA going on the road permanently and them cutting more of their pay-per-views and there being specially themed pay-per-views? I've heard some stuff in the specially themed pay-per-views are going to be like some say tag teams. Others say it's going to be like some themed pay-per-views may be like but they only bring one night only. They bring the six-sided ring back for one night. So they can really have some fun and play around with that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.